computer. Okay, I think we may have it now.
Yeah, a little red record came up.
Perfect. Okay, welcome to our very last Goal Digger Step It Up to Success class. It says week 6, but this is actually week 7 because we had that bonus week. And today is Wednesday, the 20th of February. And we're going to be talking about organization and systems today. And let me get rid of this and let's get started. Oh, come on. I don't know where all of you are on your business, so I'm kind of starting this right at the beginning. And the best thing that I can recommend to you is if you don't already have it, designate a business or an office space somewhere in your home. It doesn't have to be a big suite or anything like that. It can just be a corner. If you don't have one, make one. It shouldn't be the kitchen table or counter. It shouldn't be, where you are all eating, where the kids are piling their homework, their backpacks, where things get stacked up. It should be a designated area just for your business. And this space should only be for your business, because otherwise you're going to get piles of stuff and you're not going to know what you're dealing with. Is this the kids' homework or is this my list of leads? So once you've got your space, get your stuff sorted. And I'll tell you, I've been on some of the Pampered Chef Facebook sites, and a picture like this is not so unusual for some people's offices. So the best thing to do is get in and sort your stuff out. And there was another director who is a dear friend of mine, and this was kind of like what her office looked like. And one day what we did was we sat down and we just started sorting. And what we did was we cleared off her dining room table and we just started putting things together. And the biggest piece of advice I can give you, and what has become her mantra, is put your like stuff with your like stuff. So in other words, put all your leads together. Put all of your, booking information together. Put all of your show stuff together. Do all of that. Put all of your team stuff together. Go through, if you've got duplicates or you've got something that you haven't seen in a while, toss it. And then organize yourself into folders, binders, and boxes. Kara will be the first one to tell you that I'm kind of anal when it comes to organization, because I'm all about color coding and I'm all about keeping things in folders. I can look at my desk right now and I can tell you that if I see a yellow folder, that indicates to me that it's a show folder, it's a cooking show folder. If I see an orange folder, it means that it's a virtual show. If I see a white folder, that means it's an event. And I've got them all stacked by date. They're in a stand-up file here, and they're all by date. And that way I'm able to just take a look. I know where things are, and everything that relates to that show or that event is all in that file. So another quick little tip for you is keep your paperwork and your business tools that you use daily closest to you. So if you were to draw circles in your office, the closest circle would be the stuff that you touch all the time and that you work with all the time. Then a little further out is the stuff that maybe you use periodically, maybe once a week or once every other week. And then the further out you go, that is the stuff that you're not using as frequently. And maybe you want to take a look at that outside circle and think, boy, there's some stuff that I could probably get rid of. So here is just kind of a thought on organization. I tried the Japanese method of decluttering, and this is pretty much what worked out for me. Are you guys still there? You're so quiet. Okay, now that your office is organized, let's talk calendars. I'm sure at some point in time somebody has walked up to you and said, oh, I just love the Pampered Chef. I've been thinking about hosting a show. Do you have any dates available? Without looking, would you be able to tell me what your next available show date is? You should be able to, because you never know where you're going to meet that next lead or that next booking. So you always need to have that at your fingertips. And sadly, most people don't necessarily know when their next show is, let alone what's going on in their life that day or the next day, or 3 days from now. For me, I personally like paper, but I also keep an electronic backup. I have it on my iPad. I have it on my iPhone. The reason I do that is because, as I said, I'm a paper girl. I do have my paper calendar with me almost all the time. But in the event that I run out of the house or I'm someplace where I don't have it, I've always got that backup on my phone, which is almost always with me, so that I can always, look back and forth if I need to. And if I'm scheduling an appointment or something, I can always look and go, oh, wait, I can't do it that day because I have this or that or the other thing. So, I like the idea of having a backup. The other thing is that I know a lot of people are technology, and all of your information is on your phone. But I've had it happen where my phone has died, or I've had issues with, my entire internet going down or whatever. Well, I'd kind of be up the creek without a paddle if I didn't have that paper backup. Same thing with the paper backup. I have been known to set it down and walk away. And if I didn't have the electronic backup, then I wouldn't be able to know where I'm supposed to be. I literally live and die by my calendar. So I don't know if any of you have heard about calendar mapping, but this is something you will want to try. And as far as calendars, you don't have to go and buy some big fancy calendar. There are calendars on the internet that you can just print out if you want to save yourself some money, or you can go and get a little calendar that's going to work for you. But one thing that I would suggest is that on all calendars, make sure that you have a monthly spread so you can take a look at it. And I don't know if you noticed it on the slide that I had before, but you see I have that whole monthly spread there so that I can see what I'm doing. And you'll notice that there's a lot of colors on there. I'll explain that to you in a minute. The first thing you do is you look at your calendar. Now, I actually run my calendar out for a full year because there are certain things that I know are not going to change. I know that my husband and my 2 sons' birthdays will always fall on the same day every year. I know that our wedding anniversary will always fall on the same day, or same day, not the same weekday. But I know all of those things. So I enter those at the beginning of the year. Then I enter the commitments that I have, any classes. I like to pencil in when I should be at the gym. Sometimes I make it, sometimes I don't. Enter your social events, regular appointments, things like that. I block out vacations. When my boys were in school, I blocked off days that they were off of school because I knew I would be doing things with them. I blocked off the last day of school, the programs, the concerts, sports, lessons, recitals. I blocked all of that stuff off. I actually had a consultant who called me and said, could you do a show for me because I didn't know that my daughter had a dance recital tonight. And I was kind of like, you don't just throw a dance recital together overnight. This wasn't something that they dreamed up this afternoon. Why wasn't it on your calendar? So, get all that stuff on there. Then you're looking at it and you know what you've got available. Make sure you mark off your team meeting dates in your national conference because we want to see you at national conference. And I'm sure your upline, or if it's you're a director, you want to have your people at your team meeting. At that point, highlight the days that you have available to do shows. And if there's, a lot of days available, you may look at it and go, I only want to work on Tuesdays and Thursdays, or I may want to work Mondays, Wednesdays, or I may want to work on weekends, or whatever you want to do, but just kind of highlight those days, and that's how you'll know what you've got available. If you're doing virtual shows, and this is something that kind of came out of the Stephen Joseph and also the information that Amy presented last week, if you're doing virtual shows, you want to highlight the run of your show. Now, if you're following the Amy and Stephen Joseph method, they start on a Friday, they end on a Friday. but they preload the show. So in other words, you have all that back end. And by back end, I mean, you've got to get the hostess information out to your hostess. You need to get it loaded onto Consultants Corner on your website. You've got to get all of the information out to your hostess. You've got to get it set up on Facebook. All of those things. That's your whole back end. So you need to make sure that you have time for that. And maybe if you're doing 2 or 3 or 4 shows that are starting on a Friday, you're going to want to get all of that back end loading done maybe on one day. And then don't forget that you have your host coaching that leads up to that show. So just because you're not physically jumping in your car, loading up your stuff and going to someone's house, that doesn't mean that you don't have all of those elements that you would normally have when you're doing a cooking show. Add some office days. Pencil in your host coaching days, team calls, customer care time, all of those things that go into making up your business. Now, you remember I told you that I love color? What I do is everything is indicated by a different color. If I see something yellow in my calendar, I know that that's a show because it also matches the yellow folders that I have. In the past, I wrote everything down in pencil and I highlighted certain things. Of course, as we all know, we have weather, we have illness, we have, all kinds of things where all of a sudden you get a hostess who calls you and says, oh, I got to reschedule my show. And so suddenly you're erasing and then, or you're whiting out and you're doing all of this stuff. Well, our dear friend Kara, who I wish was here today because she'd be so proud that I'm mentioning her and this amazing product that she turned me on to. These are called friction pens, and they're also markers, and they are made by Pilot, and they are actually erasable. So you can write in whatever color you want to write in, and then if something changes, you can erase it. I have found them at Office Max, and I have gotten the larger set from Amazon. So it's a wonderful product. The one thing I will tell you though is that if you are writing checks, don't write them with these pens because they can be erased. Okay. You may have heard that I am the queen of the business box. And I love my business box because it keeps me on track. It's very portable. And it's something that I use every single day. I did not come up with this idea. This is not an original idea by any means. As a matter of fact, I got it from, I can't think of her first name, but her last name is Aldrich. She's at home office, and I happen to have been at Julie Aldrich. I happen to have been at a home office training, and this was just something that she mentioned off the cuff. And I pulled her aside and I asked her a little more information about it. And so she shared this with me. And when she was actually in the direct sales industry, she used this all the time. What you will need to create your business box is a file box. You can just use the little plastic ones. That would work just fine. If you had a little Tupperware container in your drawer or something that would fit the cards, that would work. Whatever works for you. In this case, I happen to, I don't know, maybe some of you remember this little 6-pack case that we had a couple years ago. It's a little cooler. It fits my 5x8 cards perfectly. And so I just use that. I like the fact that it zips up, so if it tips over, nothing falls out. And I also like the fact that it has little handles, so I can just zip it up, grab it, and off I go. And no matter where I am, I can use it. What you will need to put your business box together is the file box. You will need one set of 12-month 5x8 tabs. You'll need 2 sets of 1 to 31 number tabs. And if you are looking at the right-hand side, the orange tabs that you see, those are the number tabs. And then you need 1 set of A to Z alpha tabs. And if you kind of look towards the back and you see like a green piece, right behind that are the alpha tabs. And then you're going to need 5x8 file cards. Now, how this works is that to assemble your business box, you insert one set of the 1x31 tab cards behind the current month. So in other words, right now I would be in February, and actually the cards that would be in my box right now would be the 21st through actually the 31st. I realize that there's only 28 days in February, but I would have the cards till the 31st. Take the second set of 31 cards and put them behind the next month tab. So in this case, that would be March. Now you're probably wondering, what did I do with the the date cards from 1 through 20 from February? They are actually behind April. So in other words, you keep rotating those cards over and over and over. Then I put the alphabet tab in the back, and I put a file card, one of those white file cards, that I've written the alpha letter on behind each one of those letter tabs. I store my extra cards in the back of the box. And actually those cards, I think they come in like a pack of 100. Okay, so how I use the business box is I staple customer surveys and entry forms, customer care info. You know, sometimes you have those people at shows that are like, yes, I'd like to book a show, but not right now. Can you call me in March? Well, all of those notes get stapled onto one of those 5x8 cards, along with the anything else that is pertinent to shows or whatever, because this is like a living file. On those cards, I write any notes. So I might write where I met them, if it was at a show, who the hostess was. I may make a note that she bought the quick cooker, or she had indicated she was interested in cookware, or she, anything like that. Maybe she mentioned that she was on the keto diet, or that she's gluten-free. All of those things I write down on that white card. Then what I do is I put that into that box behind the date when I will be calling them. So in other words, if I am going to be calling someone on March 8th, that's where I slip that card. Then what I do is I go to the back and I pull the card behind the alphabet for them, and I write that person's name and what month and date their card is in the regular section. So in other words, let's just say that Terry wanted me to call her on Friday, March 8th. What I would do is her card, her information is behind the March 8th tab and the number 8 date. And then in the back, I've got her name in the alpha. So if for some reason she would call me earlier or at a different time or whatever, you all have hundreds of hostesses and hundreds of guests and hundreds of people you're dealing with. If I call and say, hi, it's Mary Weber, I was going to talk to you about the date for my show now, and you haven't talked to me in 3 weeks, and you're kind of like, who the heck are you? With this, I can go to that alpha file, I can pull her card immediately, and then I can know exactly where her card is, pull it out, have a conversation, and she thinks that I'm the only person in the world that, or she's the only person in the world that I've spoke to. You're going to find this is really, really helpful to you as you communicate with your hosts and your customers. And you, as I said, you just keep shifting their cards around. Why use a business box? Believe me, once you get into it, it's a super simple and easy way to keep all of your leads in one place and active. I'm sure that, and I don't know all of you, but I'm sure that if I came to your house, I probably would find a few leads here and a few leads there that, you may not have necessarily responded to yet or acted on yet or whatever. In some cases, going back to, if you recall that picture I posted earlier of the office with piles all over, I know some consultants that have that situation and they got no clue where their leads are. With this, staple it on, put it in the box, bang, you're ready to go. So you're going to know where every person in your file is. So you can reach out to them, you can call them, you can text them, you can message them. And here's just a little tip. When I do reach out to people, and it doesn't make any difference if I am on the phone with them, or if I am messaging them, or if I am texting them, if I don't reach a live person, what I always say is, if I don't hear back from you by next Tuesday, I'll follow up with you on Friday the 8th, because I value your time and I don't want you to think that I let you fall through the cracks and wasted your time. This way, I've given them an indication that I'm going to be calling you back. And the second thing is, I value you and I value your time and I value the conversation that we had. I just don't want you to ever think that I let you slip through the cracks. And that way it kind of gives people a kind of sense that, oh, well, she respects me, she respects my time, and we kind of go from there. So my next question is, do any of you have any questions for me? Please feel free to unmute yourself. I wish I could see you guys, but for some reason, I don't know why I can't. Let me see. I know that there are 6 of you, but I can't see you. Oh, wait, I wonder if I click on this.
Mary, click on our little the 4 of us. You see up on the top, there's like little 4s.
I don't have 4s. That's the problem.
Not even on yours?
No, for some reason. Well, you know what? Yeah, I've got. It's not even giving me an opportunity for me to post my video so that, you guys can see me.
Yeah, I saw you. Did you split your screen? You want to split your screen?
Okay, I don't know where you guys are.
I sound like Kara.
Yes. I don't know why it's not allowing me to see you guys.
Maybe if you get rid of your screen,
Wait,
sharing your screen. Don't share your screen.
Well, okay, what I'm going to do is I have one more slide for you guys to see before I get rid of this, unshare the screen. And this is where I tell you, let now be the start of more income, more flexibility in life on your own terms. Congratulations on completing Goal Digger, 6 weeks to your success.
Yay!
Okay, now I'm going to end the split screen, I think. I'm not sure how to do that. There we go. Now I can see all of you. Okay. Do any of you have any questions?
When you come into Pennsylvania?
When you come to Milwaukee.
You can help me deal it and get rid of it. I can't bring my office to you. You have to come.
So, it's just a matter of, and I know Stephen Joseph called it systems. I call it organization. It's all pretty much the same thing. And, it's just a matter of, even if it's just taking one pile a day and sorting through it and tossing it and then organizing it and then take another pile and then just kind of, and convince yourself that you don't need everything that is there.
Since 18 years ago?
Yeah, you probably don't need that stuff from 18 years ago.
I know. My husband was down at my desk today and scared the daylights out of me.
Why? What did he do?
Oh, he was organizing for me.
Oh, well, maybe you should just let him organize, put an apron on him. So somebody's got a phone call.
That was me.
Ah.
Sorry.
Laurel, I saw part of your message. You are very welcome. I'm so glad that you were able to join us. I hope all of you got something out of it.
I think, Mary, that You, Donna and Kara did a fantastic job, and I thank all of you. I applaud you, and I am so glad that we are all friends
Oh, well, I'm glad we are too. So,
and almost all roomies.
well, we've got to sign up for conference yet. So,
Well, don't
you
worry.
know, what I would recommend to you guys is, Kathy and Julie and Laurel, if you can kind of reach out to each other on the Gold Diggers page and maybe pair up with each other for a little accountability. That might be a really good thing. I don't know if any of us really mentioned how we sort of got together. I am actually Home Office Direct. Terry and Donna are under Pam. I don't know who the rest of you are under.
Kathy is also.
Okay. So we just happened to connect at a conference, and we were walking around and we decided that we needed to have some accountability. So we got together and we've been meeting every Tuesday morning, and we keep each other, well, we can't keep Terry online, but we're working on that yet. But we keep each other accountable. But it's not only, we're not screaming at each other, why didn't you book that show? But it's kind of a touch point so that that there's somebody out there that you can go, you know what, I am having a heck of a time with this. Maybe Terry is just like, I can't get myself organized. I know right now she is ready to tear her hair out over Canva. But, each of us knew something that the others didn't, so we kind of shared. And
Actually, I make good coffee.
yes, you do.
Yes.
But what I would recommend is if you can hook up with someone and have an accountability person, just somebody that's going to not necessarily hold your little feet to the fire, but that you can just go to and say, I cannot get my head wrapped around this. Can you help me? Or, you know what, I've set a personal goal of I want to have 2 additional bookings on my calendar by the end of next week. Can you just kind of, keep my little feet to the fire and make sure that I do that? And that's kind of what we have been to each other. So I'd recommend, if you can do that, definitely. And if it's not somebody on Gold Diggers, find somebody that you can use as an accountability person. And also, if you need any help with anything, you can always reach out to Donna or Kara or myself, because we're always happy to help. Not that we know everything in the world, but I think collectively, Donna, how long have you been in the business?
18 years.
Okay.
About the same.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kara, I'm not sure. I think she's been in like 8 or 10 years. I'm in 17 years. So between all of us, we've pretty much seen it all.
Everybody bring your bathing suits to conference, because not only do we do this, we're doing water aerobics too.
Yeah. Kara teaches water aerobics. So we went every night and had water aerobics at the pool. So So ladies, I don't want to keep you, all night, but do you have any questions? Is there anything that we can do for you? No, we're all good?
So thank you.
You're very welcome. It was a pleasure.
I have a question. I have a host who is going to have a virtual party, and she has relatives that live in Hungary. Do you know the shipping cost, or if we ship to Hungary?
I don't believe that we ship to Hungary. However, are they on an American military base by any chance?
No, she's not.
What may have to happen is your hostess may need to take that delivery and then ship it out herself.
Oh, okay. I'll tell her that. Thank you.
Yeah, because ship to to Hungary or a foreign country, the currency changes. And because the currency changes, the value of the currency also changes.
Okay.
So she would have to take delivery and then ship it from there. Best thing she can do is take the delivery, pack it in her suitcase, and then go and visit her relatives in Hungary, and then take a beautiful vacation out of it too.
You might do that. Yeah.
Either that or have her join your team And then when she does get that for her, then they can deduct that trip because they are delivering
Product.
product.
Okay. Okay. And also, does anybody have an avocado knife? And one of those. I have somebody who's looking for one.
I don't think I have an extra one, but I am going through all my inventory. If I do, I will remember that. Hey, I'm going to sign off.
Okay. Take care.
We'll talk to you later. Hello.
You're not, okay, she's not signed off. Okay, I've got her muted. Okay. I know her father's been quite ill, so I'm wondering if something didn't happen with her dad or something, so. So does anybody else have any questions? Then I guess we are good to go. Ladies, congratulations on making it through all 7 weeks. And, just let us know if there's anything else we can do for you.
Is the Facebook page going to stay up?
Yes, we'll leave the Facebook page up.
Okay, because it has the different files and stuff like that there.
Correct. And seriously, I would encourage you to go in, and I know it's a commitment of ink and paper, but you may want to print out the Amy piece. As I said, it's 65 pages. Mine has its own little binder, but of course. And it's color-coded, of course.
Wow.
But seriously, it is, and I don't know if you can really see this, everything is broken down. It's like crazy detailed. So, take your time, browse through it. It's not something you're going to read in a night and go, wow, I got it, and, put it all together. It's going to take you some time to pull it all together. But all in all, it is a great, somebody, or I would say probably a group of people put a lot of work into that. So give it a try. So, ladies, thank you so much. And until we eat again, it was nice being able to do this for you. Take care.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye, Julie.
Bye.